Welcome back. It's good to see you. My name is Mike Gastin, and in this episode, I want to take a minute and talk about Facebook and what I believe is their biggest problem. Now, it's important to talk about this for a couple of reasons. First of all, Facebook's in the news. It's something that we hear about often. It's something that we use regularly, whether directly or indirectly. Most of us are interacting somehow with the Facebook platform. We could be interacting as business owners, driving social media campaigns. We could be interacting as users of the platform, trying to keep in touch with friends or organize the latest get-together at the bar down the street. Regardless, Facebook has become an integrated part of everyone's life these days, whether we like it or not. So I want to talk about the biggest problem that they have right now, what they're doing wrong, because I think it affects us all. But I also want to talk about because I think that there's a lesson to be learned. I think that the thing that Facebook is doing, this primary mistake that they are making, gives us an opportunity to learn something. It's a classic mistake. I think that it can be instructive, and it's something that we can take and apply to our own businesses to avoid the problems that Facebook is having, avoid the potholes and pitfalls and cliff that Facebook seems to be driving off at this moment. Now, there's been a lot said around Facebook, and people said, look, they need to do this, they need to do that. It's time to fire Zuckerberg. It's time to fire Sheryl Sandberg. Let's get some new management in there. And I would agree with some of those sentiments. I think Zuck and Sandberg have done a terrible job running this company. There is almost like a systemic arrogance within this business in the way that they treat their users. And that really gets at the core issue of what I think their main problem is. Now, firing them may or may not happen regardless, but I think the one thing that Facebook needs to step back and take inventory of and be honest with itself is to say, how do we treat our users? Do we respect our users? I think that is at the core of the issue beleaguering Facebook. I think not respecting their users is their biggest problem. Now, when I say this, I'm not making the mistake of saying they're not respecting their customers. Let's make a differentiation here. Ask yourself, who is Facebook's customer? Now, we all run around acting like we think that we are their customer. The personal users of Facebook, we're all screaming about our privacy, our right to say what we want to say on the platform, our right to see the content that we think we should be able to see. And we kind of raise our fists and grab our pitchforks and torches, and we want to march on Facebook's headquarters saying, hey, we're the customer, we're always right, you should treat us better. But the fact of the matter is, you and I, the personal users of Facebook, we are not their customer. In fact, we are what they are selling. We're the product. We are the eyeballs. You see, Facebook has to create a large audience. And once you've got an audience, just like newspapers and televisions and now YouTube with video, you can sell eyeballs. You can sell ad space. And so Facebook's business model is really about selling ad space to its customers. Well, who are those customers? Those are the advertisers that want to take out space on Facebook and advertise their goods and services. So let's not make the mistake of saying that we're the customer and we should be treated better. That doesn't excuse Facebook for its behavior, but if you look at the model, the customer is that business, government, not-for-profit, whoever it is that wants to get their message out, that buys advertising space. That's the customer. And you and I, unfortunately, are the product.
Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them silent breed is people!
We are the thing that the customer wants to get access to. We're the ones that they want to sell to. So even knowing that about the model, though, we have to ask the question, why is it that Facebook treats its users, people like you and I, with such disdain? Now, what are you talking about, Mike? How can you say that Facebook treats us with disdain? Well, if you look at the scandals over the last number of months and over the last couple of years, you look at Mark Zuckerberg being called up before Congress to answer for his behavior and the way that the company has treated the data of Facebook users. You look at things like the Cambridge Analytica scandal. You look at things like even your feed, your news feed. It is indicative of Facebook's attitude towards you. Why is it in our news feed we can't just see the posts from our friends and family in chronological order, in the order that they happen? Why is it that Facebook takes it upon itself to curate the feed for you? Why does it decide who you get to see and who you don't get to see out of your friends? Well, there's a reason for that. They want to control the experience. They want to make the experience better for you. Maybe. Ultimately, what it is, it's a lack of respect for your autonomy and your ability to make good decisions for yourself. Facebook doesn't trust you to make decisions for yourself. What does that say about Facebook's view of you and I. If I connect with Cousin Sally on Facebook, well, I want to see her in my feed. I want to see the latest trip to Hawaii, and I want to see pictures of her grandchildren because she's family and I connected with her. But Facebook looks at that and says, Mike doesn't need to see Cousin Sally. What does Facebook show me? It doesn't show me Cousin Sally. It wants to show me some trip that some guy from second grade that I haven't seen in 40 years made to Sedona with his biker gang buddies. For some reason, Facebook thinks that's more interesting to me, and of course, it's not true. What I want to see is just a stream of information, posts, content in chronological order from everyone that I'm connected with, and I'll do the sifting. I know how to sort and sift and skim and key in on things that I think is important. Another example of that is Facebook's virtue signaling around how it's doing so much to eliminate fake news. It's telling you that you and I are too stupid to really understand what's true and what's not true, and it will moderate and curate the news for us. It'll show us news that it has deemed to be true and authentic and worthy of our eyeballs and ultimately our minds and hearts. Now, I understand that you can couch all of this in a desire to do better for your customers and create a better experience, but I feel that Facebook's crossed the line. They're not thinking for me, trying to give me what I want. They're giving me what they think I should have, and there's a big difference there. I think when you and I look at our users or our customers or our audience and we dictate to them what we think is best for them, we're being patronizing, we're being arrogant, we're assuming that we know better than our customers, we know better than our users. And the fact of the matter is, we don't necessarily. We should respect the autonomy of those that we do business with. We should respect the autonomy of those that we have relationships with. And business is a relationship. You and I have some sort of relationship with Facebook. It probably started out really good, and you love that relationship, and you couldn't wait to sit down and spend time with your favorite social media platform. But that relationship has soured over time as Facebook has taken you and I for granted, and as they have belittled us and dehumanized us and decided that they know best for us. It's almost like the parent that just won't let the child grow up. They just always know better. At what point do you and I get to spread our wings? At what point do we get to exercise our autonomy? And what Facebook seems to be doing is stripping more and more autonomy away. Now, this isn't a rant against Facebook because I have a chip on my shoulder. This isn't really about politics, and I don't agree with Sandberg and Zuckerberg's politics and all that kind of stuff. We could talk about that. That would be an interesting video, but I think there's a lot of that content out there. But as a business person, an entrepreneur, and a marketing person, I can't help but look at this and comment on the fact that Facebook does not respect its users. And it's that disrespect that is going to undo it. They can treat their customers as good as they'd like to treat them. They can be great to the advertisers, give them great deals, put together great interfaces to make it easy to advertise with Facebook. But ultimately, if they don't treat you and I well, if they betray our trust, which I believe they have done numerous times, they will end up shooting themselves in the foot. They will end up with a business that isn't able to produce the results it used to, and for a simple, classic reason. They didn't respect their users. So as you go about your day, as you look at your business, maybe your marketing campaigns, maybe your products and services, think for a moment, does this approach, does this product, does this service, does this marketing campaign, does our brand, does this messaging respect the user? Am I showing respect to their autonomy? Am I showing respect to the fact that they're not a means to my end? They are an end unto themselves. Is what I'm doing respectful to my customers and to my users? If you can answer that in the affirmative, then you're fine. But like Facebook, if you can't, you've got to take a step back. Take a good hard look at what you're doing and what is it that informs that disregard, that disrespect, that overlook that seems to be happening when it comes to your users. Guys, thanks for your time. I hope you found this useful. If you are someone that is interested in branding and marketing strategy, if you're someone running a business and entrepreneurship and you care about those kinds of things, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I share content that will help you grow and scale your business. Folks, I love you all, and I will see you in the next video.